Manchester City are targeting two new fullbacks. Bayer Leverkusen reject Liverpool's second bid for Florian Wirtz. Delap is on his way to Chelsea. And Arsenal are said to have a verbal agreement in place with Viktor Gyokeres. However, may face stiff competition for signing him from elsewhere. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Today's video is going to centre around a transfer window roundup. Some of the biggest headlines buzzing around the world of football today will be discussed in this video. Before we go any further and let's go in getting involved in all of the topics of conversation, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And of course, I encourage you all to get involved in the comments section as well. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, on any of these stories that we're going to be talking about in today's video, or any stories that you think I may have missed and you want to maybe talk about for future videos to come. All of that stuff I'm sure will make for great interest in reading, so please do get involved. And without further ado, we're going to get on with things here, and we're going to be talking about and kicking things off with Tino Livramento of Newcastle and Rayan Ait-Nouri of Wolverhampton Wanderers, who today are being reportedly on the shopping list of Manchester City. Ait-Nouri is the one that really broke today from David Ornstein, who goes on to state that Manchester City pursuing deal to sign Rayan Ait-Nouri from Wolverhampton Wanderers. Agreements still need to be reached with Wolverhampton Wanderers and Algerian international, but all parties now expect move to happen. 23-year-old Manchester City's main target for left back. There are also some stories out there that are suggesting that Tino Livramento could be the target for the right back position as well. And look, both of these stories make perfect sense. Manchester City are looking to reinforce their squad. They're looking to rebuild their squad. There is a lot of stories out there surrounding Manchester City and new signings. They've got that Reinders, of course, who looks like he's going to be a top target of City's for the midfield, alongside, of course, Rayan Cherki of Lyon. But these two in particular have had fantastic seasons for both Newcastle and for Wolves, of course. Both very solid in their approach play in terms of whether they're going forward or defensively. I'd say that for Ait-Nouri in particular, his attacking prowess definitely outweighs his defensive work. But that's not to say he's no slouch defensively. It's just he's clearly more of an attacking-minded left-back who likes to get into some advanced positions and gets a few goals and assists to his name as well. Whilst Livramento, of course, has been solid for Newcastle. And, of course, and one of his big factors is that he's adaptable and versatile. He can play as a right back, but he also has experience of actually playing as a left back as well. So, depending on the situation, depending on the scenario at hand, he could obviously fill in both positions. Look, if I was a Manchester City fan, I would like this move. I think both of these players are solid enough and are actually pretty decent at what they do. And I think that they would be worthy additions to the Manchester City back line. Not that maybe you can argue it could get much worse, given the fact that these two will provide plenty of Premier League experience despite their young ages. And with obviously them young ages comes obviously the possibility that they're going to only continue to grow and evolve as players and get better. I like this move, or both of these potential moves. I would probably suspect that these two, if Manchester City are genuinely serious, I think for Ait-Nouri, it is pretty much nailed on that he will probably be leaving this summer. For Livramento, maybe not so much if Newcastle can try and convince him otherwise to stay. But we know that when obviously City come calling, 9 times out of 10, unless there is a bigger fish in the pond that you can be swallowed up by, it seems as though 9 times out of 10 City do get their man. And the possibility of obviously playing under Pep Guardiola, and of course with some of the best players in the league right now, may be too tempting for Livramento to turn down. But either way, we're waiting to see what happens with these two potential deals. But I would suspect that Ait-Nouri will definitely be leaving Wolves this summer, and if City are definitely interested, he will be going to them. Whereas Livramento, maybe a less of a possibility, but still very strong considering who and what Manchester City are and what they are looking to do in this summer transfer window. Moving on to Liverpool and their pursuit of one Florian Wirtz. The news today is that a second bid for Wirtz has been turned down by his current club, Bayer Leverkusen. It seems as though Leverkusen are still holding out for 150 million euros. The latest bid was somewhere in the region of 132 million euros, I think was the report that was being quoted as being. And Leverkusen have certainly turned it down. And it's expected that, of course, Liverpool will return with a new bid. But they could also use a player as counterweight. It seems as though Leverkusen are holding out for 150 million euros, but could also, according to reports, be tempted into having a part exchange deal in which Liverpool may use one of Jarell Quansah or Harvey Elliott to kind of sweeten the deal a little bit for Leverkusen. Now, of course, as I think a lot of us know as Liverpool fans, Harvey Elliott has found it difficult for minutes this season. He's found it difficult to break into the starting 11 of the Liverpool squad. And to me, especially, it doesn't seem like he really has a future at Liverpool, considering the fact that there is something about him that I just don't think Arne Slot is very much sold on when it comes down to Elliott. And if Wirtz is to come in, of course, that will only push Harvey Elliott down the pecking order even further, and therefore may become surplus to requirement. As for Jarell Quansah, a centre-back, of course, different position entirely, as far as what maybe the like-for-like sort of changes between Wirtz and Elliott. He started off the season potentially as the number one, alongside Virgil van Dijk, of course, but he was very quickly removed from that position and Ibrahima Konate was put in his place. I think as time has progressed, I don't think Arne Slot is again completely sold on the idea of Jarell Quansah, which is why it's been reported that Liverpool have been putting him in the shop window to sort of test the market when it comes to the young centre-back. I could see one of these two going to Leverkusen. Harvey Elliott more so than Quansah. Again, it's a bit more of a like-for-like change between Elliott and Quansah and Wirtz. So I could definitely see that happening if obviously Liverpool want to kind of sweeten the deal and maybe not part with as much money as they seemingly wouldn't have liked. I wouldn't be too worried or concerned by this, though. I still think a deal will be struck. I do think there will be some sort of compromise met, or, maybe Liverpool do go the whole hog and decide to give Leverkusen exactly what they want in terms of money. So I do think a deal will be struck. I'm not entirely scared or worried about this deal collapsing, falling through or whatever. I do think that there is going to be a deal that is made here. I'm just interested to know the structure. I'm interested to know if anybody's going in the opposite direction. But this is certainly going to be something to keep your eyes on going forward. Next up, Liam Delap, the current Ipswich striker who is available this summer for 30 million, seems to be on his way to Stamford Bridge and to Chelsea. News broke late last night from David Ornstein that an agreement has been reached between Chelsea and Liam Delap over personal terms. 22-year-old Ipswich striker to sign contract running until 2031, so a 6-year deal. Subject to completing a medical on Monday. Club-to-club deal already in place. Chelsea to pay Ipswich Town £30 million release clause. We've obviously been following this story a lot. We know that obviously due to Ipswich Town being relegated from the Premier League, a clause was activated in Delap's contract that stated that he would be available to leave Ipswich for £30 million this summer. And despite a lot of interest from a lot of different clubs from the Premier League, it seems that Chelsea have won the race to sign him. Now, in my personal opinion, this was an absolute no-brainer for Chelsea. £30 million for a player who has scored 12 goals for Ipswich this season. in his first major breakout season, a season in which he's been getting regular first-team football week in, week out for Ipswich, has obviously put him on the map and has obviously gained interest in him as the season's gone on. Seems like an absolute no-brainer. He now has that credit in his bank of managing to at least be proven for a single season with Ipswich. And with the way that the current market is going, you wouldn't argue against Chelsea if things don't necessarily work out in a year or 2 years or 3 years down the line, going on to sell Liam Delap for, at the very least, a minimum of £30 million. Let's face it, there have been stranger deals for seemingly nobodies that have gone for similar sorts of money. So Delap obviously being there for 30 million seems like an absolute no-brainer, in all honesty, in terms of bringing in a player who obviously had a lot of experience from last season, grew as the season has gone on, and has proven that, you know, he's a bit of a workhorse up front, that he can score goals when called upon, and of course reinforces Chelsea's attacking options. And with obviously Champions League football coming up for the Blues next season, and with Nicholas Jackson not exactly firing on all cylinders since his arrival, you don't back against Chelsea to further strengthen their attacking lineup. Liam Delap certainly is a reinforcement. Whether or not Chelsea go on to reinforce further remains to be seen. But I think from a squad perspective and from a business perspective, this was simply a no-brainer that Chelsea couldn't afford. Well, could afford, but you know what I mean. Could see an opportunity in and did not want to turn down. Fair play to the Blues and fair play to Liam Delap for securing his move. We obviously wait for the official announcement, but everything seems to be in order. We're just waiting for the medical to be passed, maybe a few I's dotted and a few T's crossed in certain other things, and then it's all about the announcement video. But Chelsea making moves already in this transfer window. And the final story on today's video comes from Arsenal and their pursuit of Viktor Gyokeres. Now, of course, over the past week or so, we've been bringing you news about Arsenal pursuing Benjamin Sesko, seemingly choosing Sesko over the Swedish striker. But it does seem as though Arsenal may still be having Viktor Gyokeres on the back burner, just in case things fall through with Sesko. News today from, let me just get this guy's name up, because Sasha Tavalieri. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. I'm not butchering it, but knowing me, I probably am, so I do apologise in advance. Well, not in advance, but you get what I mean. He clearly stated that Arsenal have agreed personal terms and that a verbal agreement is in process and there on the table between the striker and Arsenal. So it does pose a lot of questions. Is Gyokeres on the back burner for Sesko? Are Arsenal maybe looking to perform a double swoop and maybe taking Sesko as well as Gyokeres? Or maybe, just maybe, Sesko's been a smokescreen all along and Gyokeres is actually the main target of Arsenal. There are a lot of possibilities here. There are a lot of things. If you are obviously taking what this guy is saying legitimately and obviously properly, it's going to be very interesting to see what the future holds for Viktor Gyokeres. I still think Arsenal are probably going to pursue more Sesko. And there are reports coming out today that Arsenal, if they do go for Gyokeres, will face stiff competition from the likes of Napoli, and there's also Atletico Madrid that are the latest club to be sniffing around his name. I threw out a prediction on Saturday that maybe, just maybe, Viktor Gyokeres could soon become a target of PSG. I still think that could genuinely be a possibility going forward. But it is going to be very interesting to see what happens with Viktor Gyokeres going forward. It's going to be interesting to see which direction Arsenal decide to go in this transfer window. But yes, according to Sasha Tavalieri, I'm butchering his name again, Tavalieri, there is seemingly a verbal agreement in place between the striker and Arsenal. as I've said before, I'd be more scared of Arsenal with Gyokeres than I would be with Sesko. As a Liverpool fan, I hope they do go after Sesko, and I hope that they do sign him over Gyokeres. But obviously, time will tell what exactly are in the plans of Arsenal's transfer strategies going forward into the summer. And there you have it, guys. Those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you call it, of this guy on some of the biggest transfer stories that are buzzing around the world of football today. Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, on any of these stories that I've talked about in this video or any other stories that I may have missed. I want to try and do this on a regular, try and build up some stories, try and put out videos like this as obviously the transfer window starts to heat up as the obviously season has now ended completely. But we shall see how that goes. And obviously we'll keep it here for some top transfer stories, of course. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way up. Enjoy the video. Subscribe if you are new. Want to see more content like this. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. And thank you all for your either brand new or continued support to the channel. Whichever one it is, it really does mean the world to me, guys. I cannot thank you enough for the love and support that you've shown me throughout the entirety of this journey that we are on. So I thank you. Will always be appreciated and never take it for granted. You guys are absolutely awesome. So thank you again. Yeah, I've been Flex. This has been another Flex Talks video, and I will see you and speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you all again very, very soon.